Okay, so this is my uh, now traditional sort of review of 2023. So just a quick look back through my photo album for the last 12 months, just to see what's there. And I'll comment very briefly as we go through. Well, this was the start of the year like no other. This would have been the first. We were having our meal as usual. Nothing too elaborate, but you can see we had a starter and we had prawn cocktail and stuff. And there's we're sitting at the dinner table there. I've only got that one photograph of that day, and there's Mary. I don't know why she had her hands in front of her face, but she did. There must have been some frivolity going on there, I would imagine. I took this photograph as well, just some flowers that we've been given as a gift. Beautiful and very nice. And I took this photograph on the 3rd of January because I'd been testing out my Creality 3D printer, which Mary gave me for my Christmas present. And it was very successful. Things quite normal. Here's Fiona and Richard's house, their attic. I think Richard had been working to tidy it up a bit, and look how tidy it looks. Why did I take this photograph on the 3rd? Well, two bin lorries in our street on the 3rd. I couldn't believe that. I mean, you usually just get one, but for some reason there were two that day. That's what I printed with a 3D printer. I remember taking it through. Mary was in her bed. She wasn't feeling too great, but I took that through, and that was the product of my experimentation. I've really got nothing to say about this slide. It's pretty well known that this was the day that Mary passed. I've got loads of photographs on January the 5th. Now, why? Why so many photographs? Well, these are all old photographs, you see, because it's one of the things that you do when you lose somebody. You begin to look back and reminisce. And as you can see there, those are photographs from right across time, right back to when we were in Galashiels, and none before that in this set, but that's a photograph that I quite like of Mary with Philip when he was born up in Aberdeen here. And then a few more photographs when we were on holiday. You can see one with Philip there, look, a bouquet of flowers that Mary had been given. And that's Abby in the photograph there as well. You can see Abby in the middle photograph. So there we go. On the 13th of January, that was the day that Mary's funeral took place. And we had to lay her to rest. Beautiful flowers prepared, and of course we made sure there were plenty Astramelia flowers in the bouquet because that was her favourite flower. And a couple of other wreaths from other members of the family there, as you can see. Well, I suppose Lucy didn't kind of passed her by a wee bit, I think. But having said that, few funny things with the way she behaved when she came back to her house again afterwards. She never went on Mary's seat, for example. Quite odd that was the case. Linda went home again on January the 16th. She took these photographs. There's been quite a bit of snow. As you can see, there's a wee video playing up the top left-hand corner there. On January the 28th, this is a screenshot of a memory that came up on my Facebook. It was looking back to the 8th of July last year, on the 2022, when I did a happy anniversary post. And that's two photographs that I used. That was our wedding photograph on the left and a photograph from our recent family holiday at that time, which was lovely. I mean, that was a thing that Mary wanted to do. She organised it. It was a wonderful celebration, to be honest, of our 45th anniversary. January the 30th, Ada arrived. Well, this was a moment that Mary would have been looking forward to. Some lovely photographs there taken in the hospital. It was just wonderful to welcome her into the family. And as you can see, happy photographs. Wonderful to have these photographs and see the new baby arrived. There were a few issues after that, by the way, because Ada had some a lot of health issues to deal with, but we got through all of those, and she got through all of those successfully. And it's been wonderful uh, just to see the joy of having a new baby, a new life in the family. And she's been quite central to our year, to be honest. Seeing her develop and grow up, she's just a little star. February the 5th, well, what's going on here? Well, it looks like I'm cooking something I never did when Mary was around. I always helped Mary, but here you can see there's a bit of cooking going on. Well, that was my efforts. And of course, I get a lot of help from Fiona and from Linda if she's around. But it's been fun, trying these things out. And there's I'll just stop that because that was Murray playing with the truck that I built. I've taken up model making as a pastime. I'd actually started that before Mary passed, but it's been something that I've kept going with. Some photos on the 8th of February now, and there's Ada looking lovely. This is the boat that I modelled that I bought. You'll see more of that as we go on. This photograph here shows a guy fixing a bracket to a wall at Littlewood Court. This is the TV that we donated to Littlewood Court in memory of Mary. We had a wee plaque made as well that sits just underneath it now. February 10th, we were off down to London. I beg your pardon, this is not London, this is the Music Hall in Aberdeen. Fiona was keen that we go to some concerts because I'd said I would take her to a few. And so we've signed up for going to a series of concerts throughout the year. That was the first one we went. In this one here, we've got photographs of Aria with her. She's a very proud big sister there. And that's myself with Ada. She's a lovely baby. Some model making work taking place on the 12th of February, so I got stuck into that. And then, of course, there was the ritual of the family photograph. The formal family photograph taken by a photographer. Some beautiful photographs. There's so many of those. Just amazing. This is taken at Aberdeen Beach. Alan Gorvet, my very good friend, invited me to do a few coffee outings. And on this occasion, we actually took photographs down at Aberdeen Beach. You can see the model progressing there. And then we went for breakfast one Saturday morning up at Cafe 83, and you can see Murray and Aria just enjoying the time out there. Oh, more photographs of that little star, isn't she beautiful? You almost think she speaks with those eyes. So work is progressing on the model in March. You can see that the planking's been applied to the hull there. So good progress being made. But then, of course, Mary's gravestone arrived. So there it is in place with a few flowers in place as well. This is March the 19th now. 24th, well, we're lucky to get an aurora, so went out and took some photographs. Mary was always keen for us to do that. And this is Anne Brown meeting Ada for the first time. 26th of March, and you can see Anne very well there. I took that photograph of a flower. And then this is down at Littlewood Court after a Sunday morning service. You can see all the ladies and Leslie Brown, Leslie Mackay there, and Linda's there as well. So I had obviously gone down there, and they were using the new TV to watch the church service. Mary had booked a holiday for us. This is the house that she'd booked. She did all the arrangements, so we had to figure out where we were going, because we didn't really know, to be honest. But we managed to work it out, and we had an absolutely amazing holiday. And there's a family photograph taken towards the end of the holiday. Alan and Linda came and joined me. So grateful for these friends. What can you say to that? She's a little star, isn't she? This is the day that we set to going through all Mary's hats. Mary had many hats. So on this occasion, we actually went through all the hats, and then we decided that we would donate them to a charity shop. I can't remember how many there were. We was able to get on top of Monymusk Church on this day, 30th of April, and you can see that photograph taken from the top of the village square. I decided to get my dad's wedding ring, remade so that I could wear it. It was too small for me by far, but I had it extended. It's got the word Mispa on it, and well, that's become an important concept. You can read about that later. Here we go. It was now the coronation of King Charles, and of course we watched the funeral of the Queen together, Mary and I. It was quite a sad day that, so I was able to watch this time the coronation, but on my own. Linda's birthday, special birthday, and there we go. There we go. She's got her birthday cake there. Wonderful afternoon. Decided to have that. Oh, that's the slide about my about the wedding ring. As you can see, I've got it on my finger there. I'm actually wearing it on my right hand, and that's what the word Mispa means. May the Lord watch between you and me whilst we are away from each other. So Aria's getting on now. Look, loses her first teeth. My goodness, it's amazing how time passes. Fiona, my sister and her husband moved house. They went from Peterhead back to Fraserburgh, so I went and helped out that day. You can see on the left-hand side was their house in Peterhead, and on the right-hand side is their house in Fraserburgh, with them settled in. I managed to get my photographs updated in the house in May, and as you can see, that's the photograph we took down at the holiday house that we went to, that you saw a few slides back. Lovely bunch of people, these, and of course, always a series photograph. This is June, and we're obviously out at the ice cream parlour, I think, having an ice cream, and Philip was there with the kids as well for a lovely time. This is us now on our trip to London. The two girls wanted to do this, so we agreed. We went to an organ concert in the Royal Albert Hall, did a few other things as well, like saw the Cutty Sark, did the London Eye, you know, those sorts of things. We had 3 nights, I think, down there. It was absolutely amazing. And we went to see the Phantom of the Opera. That was wonderful as well. And here you can see some photographs also in June. We've got a blue tit in our box there, you can see. That was great to follow that again. That was one of the things that Mary loved. She gave me the camera that's in that box, so we're able to observe the young being born and growing up. And there's Linda doing a large poster that she'd been asked to do whilst she was down. More photographs in the summer. You can see we had some wonderful weather this year. Kids absolutely had an amazing time. And of course, we also did some other cooking. That was a salad type dish that I cooked. Found a recipe in the Costco magazine. More stuff going on in July. Looked out with the kids for coffee, and just love these people. It's amazing how Ada has grown during this year. Oops, another tooth has gone in July again. So that's Aria now with 2 teeth gone. I think the Tooth Fairy's been quite kind to her as well. Here's this little star Ada in the bath this time. She's just an absolute joy. So we've got some summer flowers on Mary's grave at this point. This is in July. And there's Anne. Now Anne had a mini stroke, well, a fairly major stroke actually, and this is her in the rehabilitation unit at Woodend, and hoping to get better. We'll see more of her later on. July, we went off in the caravan. We went down to Stirling for a few days, and went and saw some old friends in Falkirk, as you can see. And then we went to the Keswick Convention for a week. That was an amazing week. We really enjoyed that. Loved going to all the events. Here's a couple of photographs I was given from the family of Anne. Whilst, again, she's in rehabilitation there. You can see that she's getting physiotherapy, and she's still smiling and able to communicate a bit at that point. Fiona and Richard came down and joined us in Keswick for a few days, our last weekend there, and it was lovely to have all of those together. You always get a good sunset in Keswick, so I took that photograph during that time. This one was taken at Rosemarkie, where the dolphins are. Didn't get any dolphins this day, but this was in August. This was after we'd gone back up to Inverness for a few days. Aria started in primary 3, so that's our first day photograph. And this was our first day out together, Murray and me. It was a boys' day out, so we went to the model show at Thainston Mark. I think Murray really enjoyed that. I certainly did. I loved having that time with him. Another photograph exhibition with Alan, and this time we went to St Margaret Cathedral. Now you can see some photographs of the inside and outside there, and of course we went for a coffee. What else would we do? You go through a lot of old paperwork after a bereavement, and this is some of the things that I found in August. On the left-hand side, this was a fundraising event that took place, and as you can see, we did a sponsored praise-a-thon, and we raised over £600 for the Millennium Challenge, which was to refurbish the church centre, which of course has now been done. That's all history. And a photograph of Kickstart, the kids club that we used to play music for, that was regular in Kimney at that time. September 2023, well, weather's still good and the kids come round and we have some great times playing in the garden. Wonderful times. Also in September, there was a visitor at Philip and Laura's house. You can see this hedgehog look. Visited and also took up residence in that little hut there. So they were quite taken with that for a time. More visits out, this time to Offord, to Houghton Park, and as you can see, young and old are all having a great time. I decided to try some baking. Well, you can see 2 attempts at a banana loaf here. The one on the left side of the 2 bread photograph is my first attempt, where it kind of sunk a bit. Tasted okay, but wasn't quite right. But the second one, after I'd used Mary's mixer, seemed to be a bit better. So I need to do more of that. Again, a visit to the Dolphin Cafe at Torry Battery, and lovely day out. Kids loved it. They loved looking through the binoculars at the dolphins. And then, of course, Aria in October had her first competition. And here she is doing her gymnastics competition. And as you can see, she's on the top of the podium. She was number 1. Wonderful. How exciting that was. Murray's birthday in October. And as you can see, there he is with his toys. He thoroughly enjoyed that. Then also in October, we had a flood alert. And the flood barrier was deployed, as you can see there. The river didn't actually encroach the barrier, but it did come up quite high. Here's this little star again, look. What can you say? She's got her shoes on, my goodness, on October. Just a few months and she's at that stage already. I then took the caravan up to Hopeman. I just wanted to do this because we'd done this the year before. And as you can see, got some photographs. I did actually blog about this. It's quite an interesting story because I had a bit of a disaster every day. It's almost as if I was being forced to go home early. Ended up going home early actually because I had a little fire in the caravan. This device here actually blew up, and this is the charger for the battery. So that was a bit of a fun incident. I went to the train exhibition, so this got me interested in building a train perhaps. I haven't started any work on that. I'm still working on the boats at the moment, but we'll see how things go in the future. November's project was to install some solar panels. So that's took a while to get that completed, but we've got there pretty much now. The boat's coming on meantime. As you can see, there's always a bit more work being done on that, although fairly little during the summer period. And this is November and back at Mary's grave again, but this time putting artificial flowers on the grave, and they'll be there throughout the winter, I think. And this is Ada's first
Aria, go get Aria!
There she is. Absolutely amazing to see that. See how she's progressed. She's been very quick. Now this is some photographs of Anne. Now why am I putting these up? Well, as it happens, Anne did pass away. She'd been moved to a care home in Aberdeen, and sadly, we were all looking for photographs to use in her tribute service. Kind of sad that this is 2 people quite close to me. Anne was quite close. She's a good friend. She used to come here every Sunday for dinner, for lunch, and had some lovely times with her and Mary around the table. And she would spend a lot of time chatting with Mary after we'd eaten and so on. So that was it. We started the year with a funeral and we ended the year with a funeral. And that's Mary's Christmas flowers. You can see there's a Christmas wreath there and a posy of flowers as well that were laid down for Christmas period. Oh, so here we are. This is taking Aria to the pantomime in Aberdeen at the Arts Centre. Fiona arranged this, of course, and we went out for a meal first, and then we had a great time. Aria thoroughly enjoyed it. As tradition would have it, we have Secret Santa, and this is the box already, and we did this again. It was wonderful, great to see that through. Then I had to write or at least provide some input to an article for a tribute for Anne Brown, and you can see, if you look at my blog, you'll see more detail about this, but that was the tribute that went into the P&J using some of the content that I provided, but not mine, all mine by any means. She got information from lots of places. And there we are, green trees. We've got Santa and his chief elf visiting the kids there. This was on 2 nights before Christmas. And as you can see, Ada's a little bit uncertain there. She thought it was great up until the moment she was put into Santa's arms, but then she got a little bit upset. However, had a wonderful time there. Kids, I think, really enjoyed that. All set up for Christmas here, look, waiting for Santa to come on Christmas Eve and Christmas night. And then, of course, on the following morning, there were loads of parcels to be opened. So clearly they were all on the good list. They were not on the naughty list. So there we go. This is our Christmas Day photograph that we all got together across at Phillips. Saw the kids' presents, had a breakfast brunch, and then we took a photograph. And as usual, there's a bit of silliness going on there, but it was really nice to just do that. We loved it. And there we go. We are back to the end of the year, look, doing what we always do on the 31st, and that's celebrate Aria's birthday with a lovely cake made by her grandma Reed. So that was lovely. And of course, also in the last couple of days of the year, this was published in the Press and Journal. It's just a tribute, part of a series of articles that were being written called Christmas Without You. And this is my tribute to Mary. Of course, I didn't write this, but I was interviewed by the reporter, Lindsay Bruce, and then she put it all together. So we ended up the year with Mary in mind. So it's been a very difficult year at certain times, but it's been a great year as well. It's been wonderful to just know the faithfulness of people, both family and close friends, that have been part of this experience. And well, we just look forward to being together again one day. But in the meantime, that's where we are.